Well, again, welcome to another of our Pinnacle Learning ISC2 webinars where we discuss cybersecurity and some of the methods that you can use to get into cybersecurity or some of the best avenues to conduct your training. My name is Chris Nelson, and I am with Pinnacle Learning, and I'm here with my good friend, Duncan Hume, who is from ISC2. We love when we have Duncan with us because there are lots of companies out there who like to say that they're training. And we always encourage anybody who says that they're getting training to take the time out to really dig deep and see who is actually training them and where they're getting the materials from, because training is very expensive, especially when you're getting it from a credible organization. There's some organizations also, some of you have been able to use CC or are studying the CC, and this is also another opportunity to look at what's next as part of that journey. So Duncan is going to speak from the ISC2 standpoint, and we're both going to speak about SSCP and try to address any other questions as we go along. So I will say we have quite a few people here today from all over the world, and we'll try and make it as informative as possible. So just remember that SSCP is a real return on investments. That's one of the key things, and you are one of the best investments that actually exist, right? There are many, many benefits to doing the SSCP, and we're going to be discussing some of those today. There's a demand for cybersecurity professionals. It continues to grow, even more so with artificial intelligence. There are new avenues that people are looking at, and there are different levels of cybersecurity that people can be engaged and participate in cybersecurity. We have different ways that people can get into cybersecurity. You can come out of school and want to go into cybersecurity, or you may be in a job currently that you just really don't like and you're looking for more. So let's say you are in a legal department, you're a legal secretary, you can use that and then transfer over into what is called cybersecurity governance and compliance. You might be in IT for networking, and you might want to get into software development, and you have software or DevSecOps where you can get security into application development. So we have many different avenues. You might be working in the cloud. There's cloud security. So you might want to be using the current skills that you have. Even if you're a teacher, you could be in training and awareness for cybersecurity and start training others about cybersecurity and how to protect organizations. So let's take your cyber career to the next level, and that's what we're going to be encouraging you to do today. So we're going to be also looking at how we bridge the cybersecurity skills gap. So Duncan will go a little bit deeper into what ISC2 is, but it's the world's leading member organization for cybersecurity professionals, and it's driven by our vision of a safe and secure cyber world. Our more than 635,000 members, candidates, and associates around the globe are a force for good, safeguarding the way we live. And I say to you that people who become a member of ISC2, it's one thing to get the certificate, but you want to be able to network. You want to be part of a body that, for example, you see a position opened at a company that you're aware of. You could speak to one of your colleagues who is an ISC2 member and say, I noticed this position. I noticed that you work there. Could you connect me with the hiring manager? And it's also a good way to just keep learning and being part of this body that constantly grows. So one of the things that we want to make you aware of is that there are many different certifications. We have like the CC, which is the entry level cybersecurity. and we have the SSCP that we're going to discuss today. But you also have cloud security, governance, risk, there are leadership courses, there's security architecture, there's engineering and security management. But as we have said today, we're going to focus on SSCP and how you can become a cybersecurity hero. So with cybersecurity, we have what is called a skills gap. And teams are looking for different areas that can be filled. So many people think that to get into cybersecurity, you have to be super technical. And that's not the case. There are many areas that are not very technical. Some are, if you want to go into those areas. But for example, there's artificial intelligence, there's cloud computing, we have what is called zero trust implementation, forensics, when you want to investigate, something that has been hacked or somebody is trying to hack or break into your system. We have things like penetration testing, GRC, SecOps. So again, there are many different opportunities that organizations are looking for people with these particular skills. So who earns the SSCP? Now, it's ideal for IT administrators, managers, directors, and network security professionals. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not the best person if you're not a manager as yet. This equips you that if a position comes up, that you can say, here I am, I already have my SSCP, I'm ready for this role. It separates you, it sets you apart. And I think Duncan is going to speak to, and he and I had a conversation this week really about, well, how valuable is this qualification? And I actually Googled it myself on Indeed and some other platforms. And I was really surprised that how many companies are already saying, if you don't have the CISSP, which is what we call the big boy, the really big qualification, the SSCP is also being requested and is already very well respected, but I'm going to leave that to Duncan to touch on that. So you could look at becoming a network security engineer, a systems administrator, an analyst, specialist, database administrator, health information manager, and practice manager. There are some people here today who may already be project managers, and there is a strong demand for project managers or project coordinators that know a little bit about cybersecurity. So it bolsters your resume when you know about cybersecurity, because then you can handle a cybersecurity project. You're more equipped to do that. So when we're talking about the SSCP community, for example, like here Adam has said, the SSCP has helped tremendously by deepening my knowledge of information security and has given me new opportunities to further my career. And we have Ronald, who says it provides knowledge on everything a SOC analyst needs to perform their daily task. So there are many different examples, and we will share this with you afterwards. Like Tiffany, the certification helped me think and work in many ways that lets her see the bigger picture. And Chrisanne, that says earning the SSCP has completely, and I like this, elevated my career. Now, I don't have anything against a lot of the certifications that are out there that are free. And I'm not talking about the CC from ISC2 that's giving away basically a course that's worth over $1,000. They're doing that as part of their organizational plan to give away 1 million free exams and training. So if you haven't done that yet, you should also follow up on that. But we want to make sure that you understand that not every certification is created equally. So some of the SSCP facts are that it was introduced in 2001. It's DoD approved, Department of Defense. They're part of the 675,000 cybersecurity professionals. We have an average SSCP salary of US 98,000. So on average, 100,000 US. Now, whichever country you're in, even if you're in the US, you can do your calculation to what that is worth. And in many cases, because IC2 is globally recognized, you can be working remotely. You can be in India and managing a portfolio in Japan. Especially in cyber, people don't care where you work as long as you're getting the job done. So in many cases, the salaries can be transferred around. Now, is it right for you? And as organizations continue to pursue digital transformation initiatives, the threat landscape is always expanding. Cyber leadership talent is scarce. And this is equipping you to be a leader. It is not an entry-level training. It's not an entry-level course. It is showing that you are now on the path of leadership. So it's ideal, again, for administrators, supervisors, people who want to be managers to say that they have it, right? It's cited as one of the best certifications by SitePro News. And for those who are working in IT, it increases their earning potentials, and listed as one of the 10 security certifications to boost your career. So we're looking at career opportunities advancement. It is a very credible certification. You are a member in a strong network of over 600,000 cyber professionals. And again, I encourage you after this to do your own research. Google ISC2, Google the course itself, see what the comparisons are like. So the first step is for you to become an ISC2 candidate. Begin your journey by joining ISC2. And as a candidate, you'll access many of the benefits our certified members enjoy, including 20% off online training and 30 to 50% off textbooks. Now, once you become a member, you can then also go through Pinnacle Learning to get the discounts that we are going to apply. And in many cases, our discounts go up to 40%. So you don't use the price that's on the site. You can reach out to us and we will give you a particular code that will then discount your fees with IFC. So it's an entry-level cybersecurity exam. We have what are called 5 different domains. It's security principles. We have business continuity, disaster recovery, and incident response. And then we also have access control. We have network security and security operations. And I can tell you, it's not an easy course. The reason why I say that is IC2 is considered the gold standard. It is by which other cybersecurity courses are judged. It is important that it maintains a certain level so that when you're being interviewed and you show that you have passed an IC2 course, it is very clear to the hiring manager that you have achieved a certain level of education and certification. It proves that you have the knowledge. All you have to do is demonstrate that once you are working for that organization, okay? So jobs that typically use the SSCP, as we've discussed, are analysts and engineers. But for experience, you should have 1 year of experience in cybersecurity or one of the domains. But it doesn't mean that you can't do the course and do the exam. If you pass, you will be called an associate until that 1 year of training has finished or 1 year of experience has finished. You'll be able to put it on your resume and say you passed the exam, but you are an associate, but you're not a full SSCP. But it's a great way to say, you know what, I didn't even have the full year of experience and I passed it. So if you don't yet have the required experience to become a SSCP, you may become an associate and then have 2 years to earn the experience needed. So some of the areas that are covered in the exam include network and communication security, systems and application security, cryptography, incident response and recovery, risk identification, access controls, security concepts and practices, systems and application security. Now, why is it that this graph is important? It's important because your hiring manager wants to know what you have learned. This is not saying that it's specific to cloud security or specific to governance. It is saying that you've covered these areas. And why is it even better? Because when you apply for a position, you now have a wider spread that you can focus on, or more jobs that you can apply for that you now have the knowledge for. So the course, training, and exam can be done in 3 different ways. There is the self-paced, online self-paced training. And what that means is you will have access to the digital books, the materials, the exam, what is called flashcards. It gives you all of the materials that will support you to take the exam, but you don't have somebody training you. It is not an instructor-led course, but you may feel that you can learn at your own pace and you will study. And then when you're ready, take the exam, and you get these materials for 180 days. From the day that you get your voucher or your key, you get that, and then you can study for that period. The materials are all yours to go over and over, and then you can do the exam, and then that voucher for the exam allows you a certain period of time within which to complete the exam. So we also have online instructor-led training, which means that you will have your own trainer. You'll be part of a group, usually 5 or more, and the instructor is going to walk you through the materials, usually over like an 8-week period. And you will go in depth into each section, because some sections may be more difficult to others, like cryptography, or the technical areas about, what layer are you in terms of networking and the different types of devices. And then there's classroom training that is also an option, and that's normally from a group standpoint. The exam itself is 3 hours with 125 questions. There are multiple choice, and the passing grade is 700 out of 1,000 points, and it can be done in English, Japanese, and Spanish, and it's done at a testing center, normally managed by Pearson VUE. What I'm showing here is that, as I mentioned, you can go to ISC2 and you can register there to be a member and get your membership ID. But with Pinnacle, you're also entitled to use our code on our site to get your 40% off. So by using the keyword Pinnacle on our actual site itself for all of the courses that are there, or if you just want to get some one-on-one career guidance, talk through what you think your next step should be, is this the right course for you, then you can set up some time and we can actually have that conversation with you. So again, my name is Christopher Nelson, and I am going to now turn it over to Duncan, who will provide you with some information about ISC.
Great, thank you, Chris. That was outstanding. One thing before I dive in, the 8-week class, that's a couple of hours on a Tuesday and a couple of hours on a Thursday, right? Just
yes, usually.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I highlighted that. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. And Chris has done a fine job in walking through who ISC2 is and what we're all about. But I'll just reiterate some of the points that Chris talked about. Yeah, our vision, ISC2's vision, a safe and secure cyber world that's what we're in business for. We were founded in 1989. We are a non-profit organization, but we are still very focused on providing the best cybersecurity membership experience that our members can enjoy. So we're very, very focused on a safe and secure cyber world. A purpose, ISC2 serves to educate, empower, embrace, and engage our members. So the 9 certifications that we have, and I'll talk a little bit about certifications versus certificates in a minute, but we have currently got 9 certifications, and we will probably continue to add to those as time goes on, but they are recognized as the gold standard in cybersecurity certification. And of course, I would say that, wouldn't I? But if you Google it, you'll see that to be the case. A little bit about the organization structure. We are just shy of 300 staff. We've got 216 staff members in North America, 47 in Europe, and 15 in Asia. Our headquarters is now in Alexandria, which is up next to Reagan Airport in Washington, D.C. We moved from our Florida headquarters a couple of years ago. We wanted to have more of a presence in the Washington, D.C. area because we are very engaged and involved with the federal government, as well as multiple enterprises across the globe. So we felt that the Alexandria location would be a good one. 196 countries have ISC2 members in them. As you can see there, it says the US, UK, and Canada and India are the large majority of those, but we certainly have a good representation across the rest of the globe. Our Japanese market share and our Indian market share is growing very rapidly. These are the 9 certifications that we have. I'm pleased to hear that some of you have already engaged in the CC program. I would encourage those that haven't to do that. It is free, as Chris mentioned, and he can give you some guidance and some assistance in embarking on that journey. I did it myself a couple of years ago, and yeah, it's fairly challenging, but I think if you study, go through the material that we provide, you shouldn't really have a major issue getting that CC under your belt. Cybersecurity certifications matter. What we mean by that is that the credibility of an individual is so much greater if they walk into a job opportunity with a certification. And I say certification rather than certificate. Certificate is something, there's nothing wrong with certificates, but a certification suggests a professional accreditation. It suggests that you have had to work pretty hard to achieve that certification, and as importantly, there is a continuous expectation of you to continue your professional education to retain that certification over the lifetime of the individual. So this is not a certificate where you complete a class and you get a certificate. Congratulations, you've attended the class and you finished the class. This is a certification is much more prestigious classification. A little bit on the thought leadership. We are developing a unified body of knowledge. What that really is, it's a pooling of all the subject matter experts around the globe who are members of ISC2, and we are developing a unified body of knowledge that we will hopefully make available to the individuals that want to access it, giving guidance and advice on good cybersecurity practice. We think it'll be a great resource, and in fact, I think this morning I was listening to a presentation internally, and I think we're about to make that a public accessible resource. So that'll be very interesting for people to take a look at. We're also well known for providing insights into latest technologies and transitions. And of course, our cybersecurity research documents are well known. Chris mentioned the workforce report that just came out, highlighting this enormous skills gap. And that's part of the reason that ISC2 has embarked on the Certified in Cybersecurity 1 million CC free program. So we really believe that if we can get people to skill up at that entry level, that will lead many of those following through to a more in-depth career in cybersecurity. We have a charitable arm that is called the Center for Cybersecurity. That's funded entirely by contributions, voluntary contributions from our membership, and we're pleased to be able to give scholarships out to individuals to attend training, to attend ISC2 events, and we're very proud to support the activities of the center. It's a growing center, and I'm pleased to say that the membership is getting more and more generous, and we're able to offer more and more scholarships to individuals, both in the US and across the rest of the globe. We've already touched on this. I think Chris touched on this. If you don't have the appropriate work experience, don't worry. You can still become an associate once you complete your, in this case, a year with SSCP. You can then become a fully fledged SSCP holder. We provide exam-ready webinars. So if you want to provide or spend a little bit more time studying a particular subject outside of that Chris is providing you, you can also go to our this resource here, the professional development webinars, and you'll see some great resource there to help you. We have study groups. So these are members who are going through different learning periods or different challenges and different certifications, and quite happily jump onto the community and ask questions, and you'll get lots of positive feedback from our membership. Membership really skills sought after skills and certifications are really the key element of what we provide and deliver. We expect everybody to behave in an ethical fashion. So as the code of conduct or ethics canons is defined there, protect society, the common good, necessary public trust and confidence, and infrastructure. Act honorably, honestly, and justly. So these are all really levels of behavior that we expect from all of our membership. We want to redefine the image of the cybersecurity professional. So the image, I think, in the past for cybersecurity techies has been the 14-year-old or the 12-year-old in his basement, never comes out and just sits there in front of thousands of computer screens all day long. We're changing that, and we want to make people realize that cybersecurity professionals are a mixed and diverse group of individuals. Chris again touched on this a little bit, benefits of membership within the organization. Obviously, professional development, your network will expand. Members love to talk to other members. I attend a bunch of our exhibitions every year, and members just love to come and talk to us about their experiences, how they got their certifications, what certifications they're thinking about taking next, what advice would we give them in order to steer them in the right direction. So it's a very interactive relationship with our members. Advocating for the cybersecurity profession, we do a lot of this. Some of it's not seen, but other elements are. We advocate for the cybersecurity profession at all levels, both at state and federal level. So you'll quite often see ISC2 being asked their opinion on specific cybersecurity threats and challenges. So we're always going to be advocating for our membership and highlighting our membership and their strengths within that environment. And of course, there's some savings to be had too. There's some of the discounts I think that Chris also touched on. Many opportunities to earn CPE credits. You can earn additional certificates. So these are particular classes that we run. You can get involved with the Center for Cybersecurity, which is the charitable arm. You can even help with exam development. I know that some of our trainers from time to time will help with exam development. We run a large event every year called Security Congress, and you can earn credits by attending that. And again, I'll touch on that a little bit more in a couple of seconds. We provide insights from in our news channels, and again, reading those and downloading those documents can also help you earn your CPE credits. And lastly, chapters. If you're engaged in a local chapter, chapters are a great resource to develop relationships locally. So if you have got a local chapter of members, I would strongly encourage you to find out who those guys are and engage with them. It's a great resource and a great way of networking with local individuals. We run workshops. We're just running a securing AI workshop. AI being, the flavor of the month at the moment. We're running that workshop, I think, now every month or two. That's becoming an increasingly interesting area for ISC2. Webinars, I've kind of touched on these already. There is an ISC2 knowledge vault. We run security briefings both in North America, APAC, and across Europe, and we offer think tank webinars too. Events, we're well known for our large events, both local and national. Security Congress is the large event, but we also run ISC2 secure events in different geographies. So we just ran one in Washington DC. We're running another one, I think, in London, another one in Amsterdam here very shortly. Our big event is Security Congress. This year it's going to be in Nashville in the middle of October. Last year we ran that in Las Vegas. We were expecting around 4,000 people to attend that. Fantastic event. I would encourage any of you that are able to attend to do so. It's an immersive 3 days of learning and interacting with fellow members. Community and volunteering, we're very focused on this too. ISC2 community, again, this is kind of one of these resources where you can go and ask questions. The chapters I've touched upon already. I would strongly encourage you, once you get your first certification, to find out who your local chapter individuals are. And we can certainly help you with that, and probably Chris can too, because this is a really awesome way to get to know a lot more people and network. We run a volunteer day every April where we try and give back to the local community. I've been pretty engaged in that over the last few years, and it's always very rewarding to give back to the local businesses. I touched on this earlier, policymakers. So we do have a voice at the table, or a seat at the table at a federal level. So we are certainly engaged at a high level, trying to give advice and suggestions on how to improve and regulate cybersecurity challenges. We're working with a bunch of different government bodies: US, Canada, European Union, Canadian program for cybersecurity certification. We've engaged with them for the last 2 years. I think the DoD was mentioned previously. We're working very closely with the Department of Defense, and they look at ISC2 as a great resource to call upon. We've run events and have relationships with all of the stakeholders you can see here. Again, very deep relationships with some very significant organizations. Government bodies, DISA, Department of Defense, all of these large and important federal bodies are also engaged with ISC2. Same is true of industry. Bunch of awards. We've been recognized and continue to be recognized as a leader in cybersecurity certification. I don't see that changing anytime soon. We work a lot with academia, so we work a lot with local colleges. I was talking earlier today to Purdue. They're putting together some training plans for their people, and that's not unusual. We have a relationship that's deep and wide with a lot of these educational establishments. DoD, I mentioned, this is a very significant step with the Department of Defense, in that we are now being approved by the Department of Defense for some of these certifications that we're offering. That's a very significant tick in the box for us. I wanted to just touch on this briefly. I had a look on Indeed and ZipRecruiter earlier, and just pulled a couple of job ads, and these are real job ads that I pulled this morning. You can see that one on the left-hand side, Guru, they're in Washington, DC. If you look just in the second or third line down, you'll see there is a requirement, or a nice to have, a holder of SSCP. So these are real jobs with real salaries, individuals looking for in this particular case, senior server engineer, and SSCP is a requirement. The same is true with the Windows Systems Admin. As you can see there, I think at the very bottom, SSCP. Again, that's a preferred credential. And these are seriously paying jobs. $140,000 a year for that first one, and up to $117,000 for the other one. It's a couple more. High compute engineer, SSCP would be a requirement. Interesting, the one on the right, on the top right, they are actually, if you go through their job application, under certifications, it says, do you have an SSCP certification? Yes or no? And my suspicion is if you hit the no, your application probably won't go anywhere. Bottom right, there's another opportunity there. That one's in Montreal. Again, I literally pulled these this morning. So these are current jobs that are requiring SSCP. The other one on the left-hand side is a junior cyber analyst. And again, you can see ISC2 SSCP is a preferred credential. And they are based in Calgary, Alberta. So not very far from where Chris is. So I think hopefully that demonstrates to you that getting the SSCP credential certification is a very valuable and worthwhile effort. I appreciate that it's not easy. We don't make our exams easy, because if they were easy, everybody be passing and we'd be having 100% pass rate, and the value of the credential would be reduced. So these are challenging courses and challenging exams, but if you pass and you have one of the ISC2 credentials on your resume, I can promise you you'll be very glad you did. So I think that is all I have, but that probably hopefully prompts some questions for either Chris or myself. Chris, I don't know if you've got access to the chat.
Yeah, I do, but I'm going to take a chance and unmute. So I think people can unmute if they have a question. And I put some information in the chat. I actually put 2 brochures in there, one for the SSCP and also one for the CC also, so you can get more information. Does anybody have any questions? You can put it in the chat, or you can try to unmute.
Hello. How are
Hello.
you, Duncan? How are you, Christopher?
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
I have a question. So for the certification, what's the duration of time that the certification is valid for?
Yeah, good question. So as long as you keep up to date with your annual maintenance fee, the annual maintenance fee to hold SSCP is $135 a year. If you stay up to date with that, and you stay up to date with your CPEs, your continuing professional education credits, you will retain that certification for as long as you keep those 2 things up to date.
Okay. Thank you so much for the
Sure.
insight.
Sure.
Hi, this is Sarita Stern. Are there any discounts for veterans for taking any of the tests, any of the certifications?
Chris, you want to take that?
I will definitely work out whatever you need. It's for us, it's not specific, and I think Duncan kind of knows how we operate. That we just want everyone to be certified. So, I put my email in the chat, CSA Nelson at Pinnacle, and I will make sure that you definitely get the lowest rate available. Right?
I see some questions. Well, I see 6 questions in chat, but maybe you've answered those. I don't think
You seen the questions in the chat?
Let's see.
I'm not seeing any.
No, no.
Okay.
Apart from Shahab's question very early on, which was, who's passed CC exam? That's a great question. Who has passed the CC exam?
Is anybody preparing for the CC exam?
I didn't know about it, but I will now.
Okay.
I would strongly encourage you to do that, Sarita.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth doing, and it's a professional credential. So once you've got it, it's not something that's going to go away. And incidentally, we're starting to see job ads now actually asking for that credential to be listed. So it's definitely becoming a very real and recognized credential.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is the CC certification a prerequisite for the SSCP?
Great question. Chris, you want to take that?
No, and answer is that it isn't.
Okay.
You can actually go straight into doing the CISSP,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But you won't get the credential of being a CISSP unless you have the 5 years of experience. But they are people who don't have the 5 years who are able to study and actually pass it, and they're called an associate until they have finished a certain amount of years and have the experience. But there's some people who can read a book, but it doesn't mean that they have the experience then. And what ISC2 finds very important is that you're not only academically strong, but you have that hands-on experience to back it up, right?
Yeah, I think to add to that, I think it's useful, though not a prerequisite. I think it's useful to do the CC exam just to kind of get a feel for the way the exam questions are structured. Quite a number of the exams questions, in my own experience, you need to read them twice because sometimes they're not always, if you quickly scan them and then jump to an answer, you might find that you regret that. So I would recommend doing the CC first, if only to familiarize yourself with the process and the type and structure of questions.
Right. As a matter of fact, I'll be running a study group in another 2 or so weeks for the CC, just for the past group that we did, because we want to make sure that they're ready for success with the exam. Just kind of like a refresher, just to see if anybody has an area that they're uncomfortable with. So I'll invite everybody here who might want to sit in on it to see what it's like to do the CC, right? And then if it interests you, then you can go and register and get the free materials. It's not going to last that way forever. The exam is free. The training materials are free. And it's a great thing to have on your resume. So yes, it's not a prerequisite for SSCP, but it's a great to have. And the SSCP is a lot harder than the CC. And it's structured in such a way that what it's saying is that after a year in cybersecurity, you should be able to cover these key areas. And then after another 4 or 5 years, then you should be able to do the CISSP. But again, being the gold standard, it's not extremely difficult, but the people who are going to hire you usually already have the credentials, so they know what you've gone through. There are people who will tell you, the reason why a doctor charges so much money is because he knows what he went through with his 7 years to get that credential. So now you have to pay him for all the work, all the studying he's done. The same thing happens. If you look at people who are the top in the industry, they are usually ISC2 certified. So whatever we can do to help you with that, please feel free to reach out. The self-trained one for SSCP is with the exam is about $850 US, and we discounted to almost about half of that. But please reach out to us so that we can at least begin the conversations about what's the best path for you where you are today. Okay?
Thank you so much. Wonderful insight.
Okay. Anything else? No, we're not awarding any certificates of participation for today, but definitely if you pass the CC, you will get a very nice award. Okay. Anything else? Yes, you can add the CC to your resume once you pass.
Yeah.
And I will be sending out this video afterwards, certainly.
I'm sorry, Chris, I have one more question. So I'm
Sure.
looking at the document that you sent to for a requirement. So you mentioned PMP, and if we have our PMP and we've worked in cyber security in one of those domains, that will qualify?
For the SSCP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and so oh, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna ask something else, but I forgot what it was now. I'm sorry.
So yeah, if you're a project manager, and you know, I have other friends who are here today who are project managers, that because project management covers a lot of different domains, usually, especially if you're in IT, you've touched on that, right?
Right.
You can read from that, and then you just need somebody else, Duncan, I believe, to just verify your credentials, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Because it goes to IC2, they look at your resume, they look at your history, and they do that, right? And I come from the same background. Mine was project management that got me into cybersecurity, right? I was doing projects, then they wanted to do what is called an audit, a cyber audit, you know, threat analysis and that kind of thing. So it's a really great tool. I've always said the combination of project management and cybersecurity is a very good combination to have.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Certainly. Okay. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I'll definitely send this out by tomorrow, along with other materials. PR, I believe, is Puerto Rico. The in-person boot camp, we can send you the information for that, certainly. Please email me and I'll get that information out to you. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for participating. And I will send you the invite for the next event that we have for CC to see if you're interested in doing that also. So thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to meet you all.
And
again, Duncan, thanks for being here. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.